And so I really feel that Syntropic Agroforestry is going to assist the foundation of human existence on this land to transform its own self, to become its own self-governance, and restore the life and vitality on their own farmland, so that will onflow into the community around. But I, with that, see a very strong need. And I call it a need because it's what life wants. Life doesn't want boxing and centralized systems. That is not what life is. Life is an interconnected web of living sentience. And so what life wants is for it to be engaged with so that it can flow with us. And what the forest does, and when we work with that dynamic, which is called the forest dynamic, we are able to ride the natural flow of how life creates life effortlessly. There's not a single tree that sits out in the forest and says, oh, it hasn't rained for very long, I'm really pissed off. There is acceptance of just what is. But because it has a strategy innately within itself, it is collaborating with all biodiversity around itself as an ecosystem to retain moisture, to retain resilience, so that when the rain comes, then the flow-on effects of that will come about, and it will equally be distributed and shared, so that the entire ecology as a whole can rise and grow, because the ultimate strategy of life is to reforest the earth and to, with that, create biosphere systems that are full of abundance, where rivers flow and take all the overabundance to further afar, so that that community of life can benefit and that can be raised. And so the forest always slowly expands. And on the edge of the forest in 10 years' time, that won't be the edge anymore, because it has grown again and again and again. The only reason that trees really grow is not because it's just what we do. The incentive to grow within plant species is pleasure. The morphogenetic changes that happens as leaves grow from this to this. It starts occupying more space, and all the cellular transitions that occur in that leaf, the biochemical compounds that are being released as it grows. If you were to combine all of that and put it in a little powder bowl and mix it with some water and then ingest it, or you could snort it, it equates to pleasure. And what it really means, if you take that whole little pile, you would have a cosmic orgasm. Because life and its way of growing is founded on unconditional love. And love has pleasure in it. It's part of life. If we don't have pleasure in our life outside of the current pleasures that we can engage in, if we don't have pleasure happening for us, we become depressed. We become an unhappy culture of humans. And so when we enter into a syntropic way of relating to ourselves, our community, and all these things that I've mentioned, we will restore joy and pleasure. And that isn't complex at all. It isn't technologically requiring. No, it's having celebratory festivals on large meadows with beautiful marquees where people can come and go, and life is being celebrated for and by the community. Where children dance with flower braided in their hairs. It's all that very hippie stuff. But is it really hippie, or is that actually just a label placed on something that we got so disconnected from that we want to push it away? Well, we can keep pushing it, and we can go down the hill here and we can see what pushing that does. Well, then we're pushing against our own selves. We're pushing against that hippie part of us. But that hippie part of us really is love, and connection. And it may be that our current culture is not necessarily offering a lot of healing for those parts, and I see that that's going to be something that will benefit, that we create opportunities not just for bandaging our disconnected state, but that we go to those places, because ultimately, intrinsically from within, we want pleasure, we want connection, we want love. And we can't get it from a computer screen or a Tinder app where we swipe to the right or we swipe to the left. We want relationship. And why? Because we are life. We are as much life as any other life form out there. And we are our own unique species. But that doesn't mean that therefore we are different to life. We still want connection. We still want relationship, because what that does, it enhances how we feel, how we operate together as a community, and what we can co-create and collaborate on in our projects, in our ideas, in our fantasies, in our future dreamings. And what those future dreamings should be about from a syntropic place is the next generations that are to come. What are we handing over? What are we giving to them? And is it what we're giving something that is going to be a burden or a blessing?